here we're building this. For those of you who don't know, this is the place where we make our leather goods. And this is our first object that we've ever built. Then we have this one over here. This is like our lounge room where we can sit with the clients, where we can talk with the clients, arrange everything. Big up. What's up, everyone? And of course, this is where we had like a reception. But we want to build a Serqet leather complex, so we're missing the one crucial component, or let's say the next part of it will be this one over here, where we will create our Serqetleather Library. Basically, it's going to be like a showroom. I'm going to show you the picture up here, and when the clients come in, they can enter, see all the leather, all the gold, all the threads, all our models, boxes, etc. So they can choose everything, and then we continue to go and relax a little bit there. Of course, we're going to have a summer place here as well, but this is today on the menu. As for the complex itself, there was nothing special for me to record while I was doing this. I had a friend come over and help me a little bit because the whole object is around 4 something by 4 something, I think almost close 5 to 5. Basically, the next part is going to be pouring some sand, leveling everything, pouring the concrete, etc. I will probably record some of that so you can see, but we had no issues here. We had no problems here. So basically, there was nothing interesting to record, and that is one more idea when we're building something. It's always there are some things that we're going to have to overcome, and some things that we simply they go as planned. Now, I've mentioned earlier, I have no idea about building any of these. I'm completely like going through the videos, checking out what I like, what I don't like, and of course I'm going to try to adjust everything according to the plan. Now, this part is something that I would like to elaborate a little bit more, or let's say to explain a bit more what is a Serqet leather complex and why we are building it. Basically, nowhere in the Europe, or let's say nowhere in the world, you have a complex like this. And this is something I want to create. We're going to make our own wooden boxes, like special packaging. They're not going to be included like in our product, but we're going to make a special boxes, and we're going to build an area especially for that as well once we're done with this one. But what is the Serqet leather complex? Basically, we do a luxury leather goods, and I want to create a whole compact unit where when the client comes here, they first enter this room, the Serqet leather library, which means they can choose all the leathers that we have, they can see them, they can see our models, they can check out the packaging, the threads, they can basically design what they want. Once we do that, they will be able to go through the box office making, or let's say through the woodworking part. If they want to choose a special box for them, they can choose the golden plates if they like them. Then they can go through the actually the room, or let's say the studio, where we actually make the leather goods, and then at the end we stay here and have a cup of coffee, discuss a little bit, etc., and basically teach them more about what we do. Now, why am I creating this? Because we at the moment have a couple of problems in the studio as we grew up, as we, let's say, expanded, etc. We have a problem with storing leather. It doesn't like the sunlight. Well, it does like it, but we want to keep a natural color from the tannery as natural as possible. If it comes in touch with the sun, usually it goes darken, or some areas can go lighter, etc. So that's why we're building this one over here, and we will have something that I think nobody in the world, except that I know, one leather company in France, they're doing the leather sunbathing. So we're going to create a product, then we're going to put it on the sun, and we're going to leave it there for like 6 months, etc. And we're going to try to create the sunbathing effect. So now you know better why and what we are doing. But however, I would like to take this brief moment to tell you that when we started all of this, it was basically impossible. This was something just like a wildest dream. However, today we've achieved that we can innovate more, that we can create more, and that we can actually use that vegetable tan leather into something, well, to create the leather goods that we do. Serqet Leather Complex basically is going to be a monument, something that I want to leave behind. And this is not something that we are going to build overnight, and it's not something that we are building overnight. I remember when we started, it was just like one piece of Shell Cordovan in a building that we also created. We had no tools, well, barely any tools. We had a couple of them, and it was so empty. But creativity, social networks, etc., all of that provided us with the means to do something like this. Now, um, I'm working two jobs basically. One is in the studio, creating for other social platforms. The other one is building the complex myself. Of course, I'm going to have help here and there. I don't know any of these, so I'm consulting a lot of my friends that are construction workers, builders, etc. I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I think it's a great way for you to see that if you have any kind of idea, anything is possible. We are financing this from our own pockets so far. Who knows what will happen? But however, a dream is a dream. We are not in a rush. Everything can go slowly at the pace that we are used to. We're going to learn a new skill, and of course, we're probably going to encounter a lot of problems along the way. This one was, I love to say, this is like the easy part, the manual labor that anyone can do. And when you start something now, when we rounded it up with the wood and preparing for concrete, basically I can already see the idea coming true, coming to life, and that is like, it gives you the boost. So for all of you out there who would like to start something on your own, or who are basically stressed about the business, yes, business is stressful, but don't think about the goal. When I started all of this, I had no idea I'm going to create something like this. This is something that just came up. Start creating, start doing the things that you like, and try to perfect them. You're never going to be perfect, that's absolutely normal, but try to perfect them. I would like to show on my example that everything is possible. When we first started to put leather gold on our leather goods, it was people around us, people in the city, or let's say the close circle. They all said it's not possible. Then the wider circle said it's not possible. But then we created, worked, created, did it more and more and more and more until it became possible. So everything is possible, just if there is a man or a person or a woman behind it who would like to work for it. There is no glory without hard work. There is no, if you want to have a successful, I'm not a preacher here or like a super business consultant. I'm doing a lot of things as I go. So basically, I don't know a lot of things. I'm learning a lot of things. I'm experimenting with a lot of things. I'm failing with a lot of things, which YouTube is basically showing that. I've tried YouTube like 2 or 3 times so far. It was somewhat successful, but I wasn't consistent because so far I was trying to create a YouTube channel just for the sake of having a YouTube channel. And now I'm creating and I don't care about the outcome. What does that mean? I have a vision. I'm hoping that people will see what I'm trying to build and, of course, be the part of it. But it doesn't matter. If nothing else, I will have everything recorded for the, for the future where I'm like 80, 90 years old. I'm probably going to live about 100. But nevertheless, I can sit down and check everything, because my biggest regret is when I started the first object, I didn't record anything. And now a lot of times when we are discussing or talking something, I always say, do you remember how it was when we started? And I have no pictures of it. I have no videos of it. I have no, like, nothing that I can show. Like when I'm talking with my wife, I say, "Do you remember when we were doing this and this, etc.?" And she says, "Yeah." And you remember when we had only one leather hanging on the wall, and how great it would be that we have some pictures of that, but we don't. And that's a mistake that I've made. But now I'm not going to make that mistake. I'm trying to record as much as I can, everything I can. But again, I'm working two jobs. One is in the studio, the other one is this. So basically, if there is anything that you want to try, it's possible. You just have to work hard for it. I want to encourage you. We're building this like Serqet Leather Complex was not even a thought, not even it wasn't even a dream. when we started with the first object that we have, it was like, oh, that's cool, we're gonna, buy the tools, everything is gonna be perfect, it's gonna be set up, we're gonna enjoy, we're gonna make like a couple of wallets a month, etc., we're gonna do some side jobs, this is going to be our hobby, etc. And then it grew up into us, and then we wanted to be better, we wanted to try to place our product on the spotlight that it deserves. Then we've spent countless hours. Sometimes I was working like 15 or 16 hours a day. And yes, it's possible, but it's not possible to work that amount of hours if you hate something. But if you love something, it's absolutely possible. So find something that you like, find something that you love, and strive for perfection. You're never going to reach it, but strive for perfection. Now we're creating something again. Everybody's saying it's not possible. Everybody's, well, at least a lot of people are reserved about this. A lot of people are like, yeah, they're trying. They're a little bit crazy, but we're doing it. And when you stop caring what people are thinking about you, and when you stop caring what people are thinking about what you are doing, the thing starts to be better. The biggest support for me, my wife, she's up for any crazy idea I have, and she supports me 100%. And I think I'm lucky in that manner. So yeah, I hope to see you next week, where we're going to pour the concrete. We're gonna do the foundations. It's gonna be perfect. I'm so excited. It's like pouring the concrete. Can you make it interesting? No, but it's interesting for me because we're learning a new skill. We're building a dream. It's gonna be awesome. However, we also started Serqet Leather School, where I'm gonna do things about the leather craft. There will be a lot of things not shown in the world, in the leathercraft community, that I would like to share with you, along with having a business, a leathercraft business, because it's very different in the Balkans than in, let's say, United States or Europe. But there is a spot for us, and I think I can share a lot of those thoughts and ideas throughout the actual practice. But again, nobody can teach you a skill if you don't want to learn. Whatever I say, whatever I do in those videos, if you don't practice after that, it's not gonna work. So basically, that's gonna be it from me for today. It's kind of late. It's almost 10 o'clock. I've been working on this like for the past 2 or 3 days. Today I had a friend came over and he helped me a little bit, of course, because they're long, the wood is long, and we have to put everything on the flat line, etc. So thank you very much for checking out, for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this one. We're warming up. What can I say? We're close to 1,000 subscribers. Try to subscribe. It means a lot for us. It's free for you. And of course, until the next video, my best regards.